Some pretty big news. Samsung's foldable smartphone has officially been introduced yesterday, and wow, this thing is pretty cool. There are some things that left me really impressed in a good way, and some things that left me impressed in a bad way. So regardless, here are some interesting takes from yesterday's Samsung event and everything you need to know about Samsung's foldable smartphone. So grab some popcorn, or actually some milk. By milk I mean Samsung milk, if you guys remember that, and enjoy. Okay, so I've made quite a number of videos on the foldable Galaxy X. I made a first video a year ago in November 2017, and essentially Samsung's been working on foldable displays for more than 7 years now. By the way, do subscribe and notifications if you're new to the channel, because I'll be making a lot of videos on the Galaxy X, lots of leaks and rumors as soon as I have some updates. But essentially Samsung has showed their first foldable smartphone prototype back in 2011 actually. So at that time it was just a display, it was a foldable display, but this is what they were trying to achieve since then, a full working smartphone based on this flexible display. And then 2 years later, in 2013, Samsung showed us an actual TV ad, the famous coffee shop ad, which you've probably seen, where they showcased their vision of a small tablet that folds into a smartphone when you need something more portable, and then unfolds back into a tablet when you want something that has a larger display. I mean, that's the dream, having a single device that's both a smartphone as well as a tablet. Now, putting this into practice is a bit more complicated and a bit more difficult. Obviously, the more you fold and unfold the display, the more damage you would do to that display, and it would break after a few dozen or 100 folds. So obviously that's a big issue, and then the batteries are not foldable. Of course, don't do that. The motherboard isn't foldable, CPU, memory, all that kind of stuff, they're not foldable either. So yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. But we've had many leaks and rumors, which I've covered in the previous videos, that Samsung was actually working on a foldable smartphone. So Samsung even had numerous patents showcasing this, but also most patents were not showcasing a tablet that folds into a smartphone, but rather a normal smartphone that just folds in half. And it kind of resembled the clamshell phones of the day. But Samsung had their big developer conference today, and before this conference they actually teased a few images of their foldable smartphone. So we were expecting to see this at the event. And interesting enough, what they showed today was not what they had in most of their patents, so a clamshell smartphone, but exactly what I've hoped for myself. And that was a tablet that unfolds into a smartphone. Now, the device that Samsung has showed us was still a prototype, so it wasn't something that Samsung would be releasing to consumers. In fact, the phone itself was even hidden inside a big blocky case, so yeah, we couldn't really see its actual design. Now, here's a few interesting takes from the event. So the display itself on this new Galaxy X is a brand new Infinity display, and it's called Infinity Flex. And Samsung has actually showed us multiple Infinity displays that are working on. So they have a new Infinity U, which has a U-shaped notch, a very, very small one. Then we have the Infinity V, which I've talked about in my previous Galaxy X video. This is the patent that Samsung has applied for that got leaked. So this is similar to the U, but with a sharper V notch. And then we have the Infinity O, which has a circular cutout for the camera, similar to the Asus Zenfone 6. And then Samsung also showed us a brand new Infinity display called the New Infinity, which seems to be completely bezel-less, so with no cutouts, maybe for the Galaxy S10, hopefully, maybe a video on that soon. Subscribe and notifications for that on the channel in the next few days. Now, in terms of the Galaxy X itself, Samsung, by the way, hasn't revealed its name yet, so we don't know if this is going to be called Galaxy X or Galaxy F, but yeah, I'm still going to call it Galaxy X. That's the most likely name for now. And something interesting about this was that it folds inwards rather than outwards, as I expected. So, when you fold the tablet, the big display would actually be on the inside. And then on the outside, Samsung added a tiny display, a 4.5-inch display panel, so about the same size as an iPhone 5's display or an iPhone SE's display, which is 4 inches in diagonal. But yeah, I really don't know why they've done this, why they haven't gone with a display that actually folds, outwards. Because, that's the easiest approach to make this happen, not adding a secondary display. Now, probably the reason for that is that the big display is protected when you put it in your pocket, or, if it drops, you won't have a phone that's just full of displays on both sides. Now, the Infinity Flex display itself is a 7.3-inch panel with a pixel density of 420 ppi, the exact same density, by the way, as on the outer panel. So that one has the same PPI, and it's a 4.5-inch display. And then when Samsung showed this, they, by the way, turned off all the lights on the stage. So yeah, this is definitely not the final design. Plus, it was in that blocky case that I mentioned before. But from the looks of the Infinity display in their ads and images that I showcased at the event, it doesn't look to be a bezel-less display at all. So the bezels look about the same as on the new 2018 iPad Pro. So they're thin, but not as thin as on the Galaxy S9, for example. No way. So yeah, interesting. And then Samsung also showed us a new interface called One UI, and how this can display 3 apps at the same time by drag and dropping windows, and I actually love the way this would work. But essentially, One UI is a simpler and cleaner UI interface for their current Galaxy devices, not just the Galaxy X. And the idea behind this is that instead of having all the buttons, you know, the interactive UI elements on the top and just random on the display, they would be located towards the middle half of the display rather than on the top to make it easier to reach with your hands. And then the top portion of the display would be mostly used for displaying content. So for example, in messages, you would have the threads and people on the bottom and the actual messages on the top. So yeah, I actually think that this is a great way to do UI design. Really looking forward to testing this out as soon as it's out. So this would be coming to the Galaxy S9, the Galaxy S9 Plus, and the Note 9 in early 2019. Now, interesting enough, if you've seen my previous video on the Galaxy S, we've actually seen this One UI interface a lot in some of Samsung's patents and leaked documentation for the Galaxy X, or at least the patents that actually showed that clamshell smartphone design for the Galaxy X rather than the tablet design that I actually showed at the event. So this could be another flexible smartphone that Samsung is working on. But Samsung has also showed us a couple of their other variants of the Infinity Flex display that they're working on. So apparently, if you're a smartphone manufacturer, you can buy this display in a rollable form factor, in a stretchable form factor, as well as in-fold and out-fold form factor. And Samsung said that they would start selling these displays in January 2019. So yeah, we should start seeing some foldable smartphones from not just Samsung, but also different manufacturers around 2019 to 2020. And speaking of this, probably the biggest announcement at the Samsung event came from not Samsung, but actually Google. So Google has announced that they would be officially supporting flexible devices in Android. So Google is calling these foldable in Android, and developers can start optimizing their apps for foldable devices, which is huge. So Google introduced native notch support in Android in the first beta of Android P, and a few months later, Google has released their own notch smartphone, the Pixel 3 XL, which came with a proper deep notch. I mean, in the end, the reality is that this thing has a ton of potential. Not just the Galaxy X, but also the rollable displays are huge as well. So Samsung has also teased this fun fact in the 2013 coffee shop trailer. They showcased a tablet that rolled from a pen. Yeah. And that's actually possible. So yeah, pretty much everything that you've seen in sci-fi movies in terms of, those transparent, rollable, and flexible tablets, that's something that's currently being worked on, and we'll all see this happen within the next 5 years. And I'm really looking forward to, witnessing that and testing those when that happens. Mostly because everything is moving towards convenience. Cloud storage, 2-in-1 devices, basically the ability to do your work how you like it and from where you like it. Microsoft seems to be on the right track with their Surface lineup. Apple, however, doesn't. Apple is offering you a separate device for everything that you do. Smartphone, an Apple Watch, a tablet, laptop, pro computer. Whereas something like the Surface Pro 6 is both a tablet running full Windows as well as a laptop. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this, everything that I've said in this video. I'm really looking forward to the future. So yeah, do subscribe and notifications, tap that bell icon if you're new to the channel, and you want to see more Leaks and Rumors episodes and more interesting in-depth tech videos like this one. And yeah, this has been a really fun video to make. Join the Zone, guys, if you want to support the channel and also get access to some pretty cool exclusive features. Follow me on Instagram at ZONEofTECH. I'm redoing the whole Instagram page, so if you want to see some behind-the-scenes stuff, yeah, you can see it there. But yeah, this has been pretty much it. Give us a like if you enjoyed it to let me know. I'm Daniel, and yeah, really looking forward to this Galaxy X and everything that's going to happen with those Samsung rollable, foldable, stretchable displays. But yeah, I'm Daniel, ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in my next video. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.